Let's begin by looking at the player roster. In this long game, many players are already dead, and the original players are no longer visible in the current roster. We need to go to events and scroll all the way back to 2023, when the game was created, to see who originally joined. The game started on the 5th of November 2023, meaning it lasted almost 3 years, a long game indeed, but from the roster, we can already spot one key problem that causes a classic game to stall. When VGA Planets was created in the 90s, it was pioneering work, but also a deeply unbalanced game. Player quality was generally poor, and many games in the 90s didn't even reach the ship limit, because players simply weren't skilled enough to last that long. There were, of course, some exceptional players, perhaps the best Planets players ever, competing in the most elite groups of that era, but that can't be proven today, because the game itself was unbalanced. That imbalance was offset by the low overall skill level of the players. The two cancelled each other out. When planets.nu launched in 2010, it also avoided major problems early on. It started with VGA Planets 3 as the classic rule set, but did not use the classic map. The classic map has never been used on planets.nu, largely because it was unbalanced. Some starting locations were ridiculously poor, some homeworlds with no nearby planet connections whatsoever. That said, I'd personally love to play a game on the classic map today. Unbalanced or not, the experience of discovering where you've landed, whether your homeworld is blessed or cursed, is part of the joy. Anyway, this game has a difficulty modifier above 1, which means that most players, as you can see from their histories, are senior players with higher officer ranks. There was one trainee ranked player, but not enough lower ranked players to create the kind of rapid collapse you sometimes see in classic games, with a difficulty modifier around 0.75. Where droppers and poor performers allow one strong player to race to the victory condition quickly. That did not happen here. It was the same story in the Capricorn War. When planets.nu launched in 2010, the early championship games, though played on classic settings, didn't face major longevity problems, but by the time the Capricorn War began, the community had matured significantly. There was an active forum, a Planets magazine, conventions, and of course all games were public. Players studied, shared, and improved. The result? The Capricorn War had a difficulty modifier of 2.35. Every single player was highly skilled. That is one of the core reasons the Capricorn War became a 600-turn quagmire. And it is also why this game, the Deep One sector, followed the same path. There were enough determined, skilled players who refused to give in and fought hard until the very end. Combined with rules that make it genuinely difficult to achieve the victory condition, the game dragged on. But what exactly is it in the classic rule set that makes these games so punishingly long in the worst-case scenario? We'll get to that in later episodes, piece by piece. Next, let's take a look at the star map.